My name's Matt Weidner. I've got a practice in St. Petersburg, Florida that's dedicated to helping my neighbors and helping this community fight the banks and institutions that are doing damage not just in my community but all across this country. You know, every day I meet with neighbors here in my office and I hear the stories of their interactions with their banks, either before they file foreclosure against my neighbors or while they're in foreclosure. The fact of the matter is that I'm disturbed by what I hear. The stories of the banks and the lies that they tell to consumers again and again and again are bad enough. But when they go inside my courtroom, our courtrooms, and they perpetrate these same lies on the judges and on this hallowed institution that is our justice system, I'm more than angry. I'm disturbed by what I see in this conduct, and that's why I've dedicated this practice to rooting out the fraud and abuses that these banks are doing in our courtrooms every single day. This website that you see in the blog posts that are attached there are a collection of stories from consumers all across the country and pleadings and other victories by consumer advocates and attorneys. It's important to share all this information because you need to understand that you're not alone in this fight. You know, before we attorneys started sharing all this information about the banks and what they were doing, frankly, we weren't aware of the widespread abuses and practices. Unfortunately, many of the judges that practice foreclosure law weren't aware of what's happening out there and how they were being conned and lied to by the banks. One of the real benefits and one of the real things that this site and others like it bring to the community is judges and other advocates get to see what these banks and institutions and their attorneys are doing all across the country. When you start to put the pieces together, it's frankly quite disturbing. The examples of bad conduct on behalf of the attorneys and the institutions that they represent are simply something that we cannot allow to continue. I want you to look carefully at the videos and the posts that are in this website. Search by your bank's name if you want some particular information about the lending institution or mortgage company that's filing foreclosure against you, and learn some more about what foreclosure is and how you can defend yourself. One of the things that I find most concerning is the fact that the vast majority of consumers do not defend themselves in foreclosure. You know, as I meet with people every single day, and I've got hundreds of foreclosure cases here, I've virtually never seen one where the banks have done everything that they need to do properly in order to foreclose. We could be charitable and say that the banks and the attorneys are just making mistakes, maybe perhaps honest mistakes in these foreclosure cases, but the pattern of the mistakes that I see over and over again, and frankly some of the gross abuses and glaring mistakes, suggests to me that they're just ignoring court procedures, ignoring laws, ignoring rules, all in a mad rush to take back homes that they may not be entitled to. That's again one of the things that disturbs me the most, is the fact that these banks and institutions and their attorneys are violating the laws, violating the rules, and throwing out fundamental principles of justice and equity that I hold very dear. It took me a long time to become an attorney. It took me a long time to be practicing the way I am in this community and to gain the respect of the courts. And one of the things that disturbs me the most is how respect for the courts, in my mind, is being damaged by this foreclosure crisis because we're not holding the banks and institutions up to the same standards that we would of any other institution or any other party that comes before the court. I'm going to encourage everyone in this community to look at this video, to look at the videos throughout this post, and pay close attention to some of the things that you see happening in the courtrooms. We simply cannot allow this fundamental assault on our community and on our courts to continue. That's why I want to encourage everyone to defend your foreclosure case. I understand you may not be able to afford big upfront retainers. If you can't do that, if you can't afford any retainer at all, at a minimum, file pleadings in your own case. But the bottom line is, if you can afford it, hire an attorney who's experienced, who's knowledgeable, who has a track record of success in defending foreclosures. Remember, folks, it's not just your home, it's your community, and it's the very heart of this country that we're defending when we fight these banks and institutions and courts. Please take a look at the videos in here and the other posts that are in, and contact my office if I can be of assistance to you.